You can begin by stretching out the legs in front of you and then leaning back slightly. Of course, being mindful that it feels okay for your spine, for your wrists, just finding some comfortable way you can lean back. And let's do this first little experiment in how well your body is mapped into the brain. Means how good is that communication, in other words, between your brain and your body. So let's try that. Look straight ahead, not at your feet for a moment or up or wherever else, and move only the toes of your right foot without looking. And then look at it and notice whether it's really only the toes of your right foot moving or if there is a movement of entire right foot or if there's any movement of your foot or ankle. So this is the first and easiest check. You can see whether your toes are mapped not as a whole chunk together with the whole foot, but separately. And you could try, give it a try now, because we'll be trying that later as well, to spread the toes apart. So move them away from each other, only just in one foot, just in that right foot. Spreading them apart, just like I'm doing now with my hand. And it might be like, what? Like, this is totally not possible. Like, the toes are not meant to do that. You'll be surprised how much mobility there is in our feet. And the feet are actually mapped into our body as well, evolutionarily, as well as the hands. We have lots of nerve endings there, and we have plenty of mobility. The thing that happened is that we're losing that natural intelligence in the feet, just because for the whole life we keep them imprisoned in the shoes. So imagine you have like a cardboard stuck to your palms and you wrap your hands tightly with a bandage. That's how your feet spend most of their lives. That's why it's super important for you to get back the feeling into the feet. And the best way to get back the feeling is by touch. And we'll do a little bit more testing still on the right foot. So all the time we're focusing just on that one so that you can easily compare it later with the left one. And that is the best method because you feel in your own body the difference it makes, whatever you do. So the movement comes from the toes. It's like a little game and treat it really as a game, especially if you've never done it before. Of playing with the toes. So you can first place the heel on the ground and then curl all the toes under towards the sole of the foot and then spread them out wide as possible. Create a space between them. And then again, curl them under and spread them wide. Curl and spread. Okay, and that kind of feels doable, right? So now place the whole foot on the ground and lift only the big toe off the ground. Lift only the big toe from the ground and keep all other 4 toes lying down. It might be like, I'm not sure about that, it's not really happening. Don't worry about it. And you can put it down and check how would it be to do the opposite. To lift the remaining 4 toes and keep the big toe down without lifting the rest of the foot. And again, that doesn't work. But let's try that. Hold the big toe down with a finger. And now try lifting those 4 toes up. And that's when you're teaching the brain, okay, so that is the movement you want me to do. There are those muscles that can lift those 4 toes. I'm using them now. So you are bringing back that mapping. And of course, this is a process, but I can assure you that this is something you can get to do within a couple of months. My mom started doing it at the age of 63, and in a few months she could play the piano with her toes. This, of course, played the piano in the quote. Playing the piano means that you lift all the toes and then you lower them one by one. So this is something you can definitely regain. You can regain all that lost connections with various parts of the body. You can try that now. How would it be if you lift all your toes and then lower them one by one? From the little one to the big one, and then lift them from the big one to the little one. And you can laugh, you can just treat it as a little game for now. All right, fine. So after this little exercise, maybe again, maybe even there is a way they look slightly different. Somehow there is a tiny bit more gap now between those toes on the right and on the left. Let's see. Okay. Great. So this is more like as a test now. So you could easily come back to this recording later to do the other side. Use this movement of curling and unfolding the toes a couple of times, curling under and spreading them apart, curling under, spreading apart. Okay. So the feet are feeling more alive, more connected to the whole. And you could wake them up even further if you come to all fours and tuck the toes under. You can bring your hips towards the heels, and that stretches the whole sole of the foot. And you will see, again, be very mindful of when your body tells you to stop. So you're tucking the toes under, and it's you who decides how far you want to go with that, how far you want to reach with those hips towards the heels. And what are the sensations that are stopping you from getting farther? Is it the sensation of discomfort? If it's some sharp, sudden, intense sensation, or more something like a dull, spread out sensation. Usually those dull and spread out sensations are something you can teach yourself to stay with for a period of time that you decide on. So it's your time of discomfort that is working on strengthening or affecting somehow your tissues. And the same way, when you have your feet flat, you can bring your hips towards the heels and again decide, okay, how far I can get with that, what is stopping me, where is that sensation that tells me, I'm definitely not going any farther with that. It might be that you want to walk yourself a little bit closer. So those are all the options you can explore, various options. You'll see which one works for you today. Perhaps sitting up, perhaps staying with the hands in front of you or farther in front of you. You will see what works. And you could also check if there's any possibility of shifting your weight, your hips from right to left. Your hips shifting from right to left. So you're kind of rolling over the front of the feet or the ankles. And this can be done in the upright position, and it will be probably more intense in this version. This could be done with the hands in front of you. Okay, and then you can come back to all fours for a moment, maybe just for a while, stretch out one leg behind you and that other leg behind you.